Thank you and good afternoon. It's Monday, October 16th, part 2 of our podcast. Week 7, it was the Jags beating the better of the Colts easy. Should have been a better game. In England, it was 37-20 Jaguars. On the first game in this Sunday game, any given Sunday, which both defense stood up and played what their rankings were, the Cleveland Browns are 1 shockingly, and the San Francisco 49ers were 2. The 49ers came into the game 5-0. The Browns came into the game at 2-2. First drive for the 49ers, a big play of 27, a personal foul, face mask, led to a touchdown from the 13. Second drive before the game, Deshaun Watson was out for the Browns. It was on to Paul Walker. He did not play well. His first drive was an interception, in fact. A missed field goal by the 49ers, a missed field goal by the Browns, a punt, back-to-back punts, and then a field goal by the 49ers, 10-0. Then a big play deep to Amari Cooper for the Browns of 58 yards. That was a key play to the drive and a key play that we mentioned before the game yesterday on Sunday. And the big play by the 49ers that would score. 49ers would score from the 16. Punt. End of the half. Score was 10-7. The Browns would tie it at 10 at half. After the half, a punt. Back-to-back punts again, a field goal, back-to-back punts again for the third time of the day, and another punt, an interception in the sloppy game, Second thrown by Paul Walker, 13-10 in favor of the Browns. Touchdown, 49ers 17-13, a field goal by the Browns, 17-16, a punt, a field goal by the Browns, 19-17, and the 49ers would respond with this kick to potentially put it into overtime.
This in a pressure spot. 41-yard attempt to win the game, and it is no good. No good. Jake Moody missed it to the right. There's still 6 seconds left on the game clock. But the Browns are going to get the football back. San Francisco, 1 timeout remaining. Jake Moody, no good from 41. There are flags on the field now. Likely celebration penalties, I would imagine.
The Panthers got off to an excellent start when they went back-to-back touchdowns and then fell into the normal Panthers of the year as the Dolphins outscored them 21-14 at half. And then the Dolphins would outscore them. They made a play, a 41-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, who got the offense going to score their first 6 points. And he wanted to be in the MVP conversation. At the half, the Dolphins led 42-21. The Dolphins outscored the Panthers 21-7 in the second half to roll 41-21. The rookie of the year so far, C.J. Stroud, had 2 touchdowns and did have 1 INT, but had 200 yards. The Saints' Derek Carr had 353 yards, but the problem was it only led to 13 points. The Saints never had the lead. 20-13 was the final. The Raiders survive over the Pats, have won 1 game this season and suck. And Bill Belichick is looking like maybe it's his last season. Maybe he retires. The Patriots will probably never fire him, but maybe they agree to resign - retire. But in all reality, he'd be really fired by the Patriots. But the Patriots would never say that. That final was 21-17. the Raiders quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt and he could be out next weekend against the Bears, that would be a problem that the Bears and Raiders would have no starting quarterbacks in the game. Nobody's tuning into that game, I guess. In the final 12 o'clock game, the Bengals defense of game, in which the theme of the weekend, except for the Dolphins game, Joe Burrow continues to likely not be 100% hopeful as the Bengals fans are, as he has only had one game where he's at over 300 yards. We're talking about the quarterback that led them to the Super Bowl 2 years ago and one led up to the AFC Championship last year. The Cardinals' Jamar Chase got 80 yards. The biggest problem was that Geno Smith, comeback player of the year, has faltered back this season. Did have over 300 yards, but he threw 2 interceptions. He was not very good. He's an average backup to average starter. The Bengals win 17-13. The Lions defense has played really well except in one game. According to Sports Nuts, they are 6th in defense. 20-6 was the final. Jared Goff, first overall pick, outdueled 2018 number 1 pick Baker Mayfield. Amon St. Brown for the Lions had 124 of those Jared Goff yards and 1 touchdown. Goff had 3 touchdowns and 353 yards. Lions get past the Buccaneers 20-6. The Rams easily beat the Cardinals 26-9. The Rams are 3-3. Meanwhile, the Cardinals are 1-5. In the shocker of the 325 games, the Eagles lose to the Jets for the first loss of the season. Jalen Hurts, MVP maybe of the year, before this game threw 3 picks. One of them in the fourth gave them the lead of 18-12. Then the 2-point conversion was good, or to make it 20-14, which was the final. In the Sunday night game, the story of the weekend may be that the bad offenses were the bad theme of the weekend, and that continued on Sunday night. The Bills got shut out in the first half of a 6-0. The key play that before half was the audible by Tyrod Taylor, who made the start. Tyrod Taylor was the starting quarterback. The Giants led again 6-0 to start the second half. That'd be the score until the fourth quarter of 6-0. The Bills would take the lead of 7-6 in the fourth quarter, but the Giants would get a field goal to put them out on top and grab the lead 9-7. And they had another chance to kick the field goal that would have won the game if the game followed the game script and kicked the field goal before halftime. As it was, they had to attempt a fourth down that was turned over on downs. Final was 14-9. The Giants did make a stop to get the ball back, but their prayers were not answered. On Monday Night Football, in the first half, and then a Cowboys would respond with their own touchdown, 6-21. Nobody would score. Nobody would score until the end of the half after it was 7-7, and a field goal at the end to make it 10-7. That field goal turned out to be big. The Chargers would tie it for the third time in the game. Then it would be a touchdown to make it 17-10. Cowboys, and then the Chargers would tie it for the fourth time in the game. When they mentioned on the podcast they had no sacks, the next play, they were talking about how they were missing Michael Parsons. The next play, Michael Parsons got a sack and then an interception to decide the game. Stephon Gilmore, one of the best in the game of all time. The Chargers win 1 of 2 on fourth downs. The story of the Chargers this year, and like the last 3 years, has been that the Chargers can't make a fourth down. And they have lost many of those games. The Chargers will probably fire Brandon Staley if the season continues to go the way it's going.